Here we are, week 2 of high school football. Still not in the GWalk schedule yet, but some tough teams to play. And I'm with Coach Dave Miller, by the way, the head coach of the Fairmont Firebirds. And your next opponent kind of took you to task last year. So, what are your overall impressions of the first game of the year, in which your team had no turnovers and only 4 penalties?
I think we played pretty well. I mean, that was a really good football team we beat. As we talked about, they, out of our schedule, had the most kids coming back. I think we counted like 16 or 17. Full defense returning pretty much. I think they had an injury to a couple of their guys, but 4-year starter quarterback. So for us to go out and hold them to 7, number one, is a huge undertaking. Credit to our defense. But yeah, that was I really couldn't be happier. I mean, for a first week, you're kind of working out bugs and things like that. I thought we played really well.
2 big defensive plays in the second half. First of all, can you give us what the key was to stopping Alter on the 4th and 1 around midfield?
Well, I think you go back to the 3rd and 2. That was equally as important. So they had, if I'm remembering that right, I think they got a pretty big chunk on 2nd down to make it a 3rd and 2. And it was about the only time we blitzed, I think, all night. And our guys did a good job executing. And, I think Caleb Moore coming up from his corner spot kind of sealed the first hit there on 3rd and 2. And then it was kind of by committee on the 4th and 1. That was huge. I mean, they get a first down, they go down and score. That game, the complexity of that game becomes very different, possibly. So that was huge. And then for us to go down and score, even bigger. So.
Then there was the Skylar Siffler interception.
Slifer. Yeah.
Slifer interception. What were the keys to that interception happening?
Well, number one, I think we highlighted it on Monday, but our place kicker putting it in the end zone 10 yards deep. He didn't do that really in the first half. Kind of had a rough first half. That was huge. You're making them have to drive the field after going down the score. A big momentum change there with everything. And really, it was about pressure. I mean, Logan Wilkins is on the quarterback right now. And, he tried to, I think, throw it away. And Skylar ended up in the right place and made a nice play on the ball. And, we get field position right there in the red zone and go down and capitalize. 2 scores at that point within a couple minutes of the game. That was huge.
Overall, the defense gave up 1 play of 23 yards on the ground and a long 23 yards in the air, as well as against an experienced offense. What was the keys to limiting the big plays?
Well, that's our motto. The way we're built philosophically is we're going to make them earn everything. So we'd had some trouble in our scrimmages, or at least the first one, Middletown and Mount Healthy, kind of exposed us a little bit, and we just need to get our DBs to understand you got to stay back. You can break up on everything, but once they get behind you, that's a problem. But I thought we did a great job. The run you're talking about, that led to their only score. We missed a lot of tackles on that play. Logan Wilkins chased him down, tackled him on the 2, and then they pretty easily scored, from the 2-yard line. But overall, our defense played really well. Just executing our game plan and making them earn it. So.
Offensively, was the plan going in for Logan Doty to have more than half of the rushes on the night and limit Brock Baker to 11 rushes?
No. We run the triple options. I mean, it's kind of take what they give you. Some nights are going to be the fullback. Some nights are going to be halfbacks. We interchange Logan and Damian Patton, at fullback. And they're different styles of runners, and I think that presents problems for people. And they're both great kids. This is really, you're looking at a 3-year deal here with those guys. Our backfield's young, with the exception of Brock. So we never go in with the idea that, someone's going to get X amount of carries. It just presents itself, and we try to take advantage of it.
So it's Trotwood. Last year they were dominated. They dominated you guys.
Right.
What takeaways do you have for their first game against a Cleveland team, which they lost defensive slugfest 6-0?
Yeah, the team they play, Cleveland Heights, is really good. I mean, they're a Division I football team in Region 1, and they were 9-1 the last 2 years, and they're loaded. When you look at the talent factor, Both teams just have guys all over the place. You alluded to last year. I think that was about as un-Fairmont football, we played in the last 7 years. We took our foot off the pedal during the week. I think we got that win over Alter last year, and we did not have the same focus. Even in our pregame, Coach McDonald came off the field, and I asked how things went, and I saw it from our end too. This is a year ago, but he said that we went from a 9 focus against Alter to about a 3. And we got what we deserved because, they were really talented, always are, well coached. So, what we're going to have to do is, it's why we do what we do. People wonder why we don't put the ball up, a lot. I don't want to give them chances. It's like, it's pretty, it's mathematical, I think, when you look at it philosophically. So we need to control the clock and minimize their, chances on offense. And they've got a really good defense. I mean, that was a 6-0 game. Against a guy, I think, that's getting recruited by Ohio State, their running back, Cleveland Heights. So we're going to have to work, but that's why we do what we do.
So you mentioned you went from a 9 to a 3 on the focus. Where do you think you guys are now?
Based on our week of practice, as hot as it is, yesterday we had the best hot day practice I think we've ever had. I think they're focused. I think they're locked in. We have, a couple more days here before game time, but I think the trend right now is good. If we continue that, that's going to be a good thing.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and of course, as always, have good luck on Friday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm with Coach Jeff Graham,
Yes,
head
sir.
coach of the Trotwood-Madison Rams football team. Just a couple questions for you, Coach.
Yes.
Back to 6 of them. So, going to your game in Cleveland Heights, if I had told you 6 total points would be scored, how surprised would you have been?
Very surprised. I thought we had a lot of very good opportunities in this game to really score. In the second half, we start on plus territory. 4 out of the 5 series going into the second half. I think our team really learned that the red zone is very, very vital. We got the ball on the goal line, and we did not score a touchdown on 4 consecutive plays. So that's why I was very, very, not heartbroken, but surprised at the identity that our offense couldn't, build at that point.
So, in this game, allowing 6 points, who were some of the defensive stars for you?
For Trotwood?
Yes.
Oh, we have quite a few. We got some guys on the defensive line. We got Jamarcus Weiss. We got Nash. We have some good corners with Jamel Clark. One of our safeties are playing very well for us. His name is Darius Dennis. We got a couple alternate linebackers with Xavier Middleton. And so we have a good crew on the defensive side that could be interchangeable. Those guys are starting to find some type of identity. What we did in the first drive was very surprising of our defense. We were out of place. We didn't line up correctly at all. And that was very hard for us. But we picked it up after that. It couldn't get the sustained drives. We were able to go out and stop their running game, and I think we did a good job in the second half with containing it.
Offensively, there has to be a transition for a new signal caller. What did you see in your quarterback's performance?
I saw Dallas Sheehy, for him being at Trotwood-Madison playing in his first ever start. I don't want to give the kid, I don't want to tell him this, so I hope he never hears it, but he did an excellent job for us. For the amount of pressure that it is to play against a team like Cleveland Heights, with the size and the speed, the blitzing, he was able to compose and have sustained drives. Now, our expectations were higher, correct? Because that's just how we feel and that's how we coach. We want our expectations to always be high. But what he did as far as for the amount of playing time that he had, I think he did an excellent job for us.
Can you evaluate the rest of the offense in the opener, especially the running attack?
Okay, evaluate the rest of the opening. First, I think we only have 2 returning starters on the offensive line. So right now we got 3 guys that's never really played at I ain't gonna say play at a high school, but played varsity football for us. So that's a transition that we have to go through. Even at the quarterback position, even at the running back position, and even at the wide receiver position, we're very young in those 3 areas. But my expectations that if we practice hard and we do what we're supposed to do week in and week out, and we prepare, I just see us not missing a beat. Now I know guys are nervous, I know guys are gonna have butterflies, especially playing at the high school level. But so hopefully we can get over that hump this week, and the guys, it's a little heat going on, but hopefully we'll be able to muster and come home and get us a victory.
Especially at home.
Exactly.
Okay, turning to Fairmont, knowing that they like to hold the ball for long periods and run the clock, how frustrating is it for your defense not to commit a penalty out of frustration, especially keeping the defense disciplined?
Well, that's the good thing about football is when you said the key word discipline. For a good defense, you have to be disciplined. You have to be gap integrity against a team like this that wants to run the ball. It's going to tell you they're going to run the ball, and they're going to show you that they're going to run the ball. So we know exactly what they're going to do. There's no surprises. So for our defense, they have to be in the gaps. They have to play what I call, gap integrity defense. We can't be running up the field. We can't. They don't pass, and if they do, it might be 4 times in a game. So we really have to be secure about being able to go out and play solid defense and get their offense off the ball, get their offense off the field.
All right, final one for you, Coach.
All right.
You clobbered Fairmont last year. What was the message to the team not to expect a repeat?
Oh, well, it's because it's a a different game, different year. The expectations are different, and you got to play one game at a time. You can't just overlook and say because the year before they came to this field and they beat us, I think it was 28-14, maybe. Yeah, it was.
You got better memory than I do.
Yeah. So we got to understand that they came to our home and did that, but they had solid offensive play. They had a quarterback that was very good for Dave, and we kind of know Dave's system. We kind of know Dave what his philosophy is. He kind of know what our philosophy is. So it makes it a good competition because we both respect each other as coaches.
All right, Coach. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today, and good luck on Friday night.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Take care.
All right.